Jack Miller looked out the small window of the transport ship. The stars stretched into lines as the vessel slowed from its final jump. He took a deep breath. After 6 months of travel, he had finally arrived at the Galactic Council Research Station. The station was huge. It looked like a metal ring with spokes going toward the middle. Lights dotted its surface, showing signs of life inside. The station orbited a planet that was green and blue, not unlike Earth. Jack checked his reflection in the window glass. His brown hair was neat, his blue uniform clean. As the first human representative to the Galactic Council, he wanted to make a good impression. "Prepare for docking," a computerized voice said over the speaker. Jack grabbed his bag and moved to the exit door. His heart beat faster. He was about to meet real aliens for the first time. The door opened with a hiss. Cool air rushed in. Jack stepped forward onto the metal floor of the station. He looked up and saw a creature waiting for him. The alien stood on 2 legs but looked like a giant praying mantis. It had green skin that seemed hard like armor. Its eyes were large and black. It had 4 arms folded in front of its body. "Welcome to Station 7, Jack Miller of Earth," the mantis alien said. Its voice sounded like clicks and buzzes, but Jack's translator device made the words clear. "I am Officer Strax. I will be your guide during your stay." Jack nodded and tried to smile in a friendly way. "Thank you for the welcome. I'm honored to be here." Officer Strax moved one arm in a gesture to follow. "This way. The welcome ceremony will begin soon. Many species are excited to meet the first human." They walked down long hallways made of white metal. Jack saw many different aliens passing by. Some had fur, others had scales. Some walked on 2 legs, others on 4 or more. Some floated above the ground. Jack tried not to stare, but it was hard. Everything was new and strange. They entered a large round room with a high ceiling. Hundreds of aliens stood in groups. Some were tall, some were small. The room buzzed with strange languages. Jack noticed something interesting. The aliens seemed to stand in certain patterns. Some aliens stayed far away from others. When certain aliens walked by, others moved out of the way quickly. "What's happening there?" Jack asked, pointing to a large creature with sharp teeth that walked through the crowd. Other aliens moved aside quickly, making a path. "That is natural spacing," Strax explained. "In the galaxy, all species know their place in the predator hierarchy. That helps keep peace. That creature is from the Drax system. They evolved as apex hunters. Others show respect by giving space." Jack nodded, trying to understand. On Earth, humans were at the top of the food chain. But here in space, things seemed different. Xrax led Jack to the center of the room. A tall alien with scales that changed colors stepped forward. This alien looked like a snake with arms. It wore a silver robe with strange symbols. "This is Elder Vox," Xrax said quietly, "a council leader." Elder Vox raised 2 arms. The room got quiet. "We welcome Jack Miller, first representative from planet Earth, a newly discovered world." All the aliens turned to look at Jack. He felt hundreds of eyes, some with pupils, some without, all studying him. He stood straight and tried to look calm. "Earth has been observed from afar," Elder Vox continued. "But today marks the first direct contact. We are curious about humans and their place in the galactic community." Jack noticed whispers among the aliens. Some seemed to be debating something about him. He wondered what they saw when they looked at him. A small furry alien near Jack whispered to another, "Where do they fit? No claws, no fangs, soft skin, not very fast. How did they become dominant on their world?" The other alien shrugged. "Unknown. That's why the council is interested." After Elder Vox finished speaking, different aliens came to meet Jack. They asked him simple questions about Earth and humans. Some seemed friendly. Others seemed cautious, as if they were trying to figure out if he was dangerous. One alien with blue skin and 4 eyes looked at Jack's hands. "No natural weapons," it said. "Interesting," Jack smiled. "We make tools instead." The blue alien moved back slightly. Jack wasn't sure why. Later, Strax showed Jack to his living space. It was a small room with basic furniture. The bed was flat and simple. There was a desk, a chair, and a screen on the wall. "Rest now," Zrax said. "Tomorrow we'll be busy with many meetings." When Zrax left, Jack sat on the edge of the bed. He felt tired but excited. Everything was so different here. The way the aliens organized themselves based on who was a predator and who was prey seemed strange to him. Jack turned on his personal device and looked at pictures from Earth. One showed a tiger at a zoo. His daughter loved tigers. Before he left Earth, they had watched a nature show about big cats together. A soft beep came from the wall screen. Jack walked over and touched it. A message appeared. "Human Representative Jack Miller, you are invited to a special council session on predator classifications tomorrow. Your insight on Earth species will be valuable." Jack read the message twice. He wasn't a biologist. He was a diplomat. Why did they want his opinion on animal classifications? He looked again at the picture of the tiger on his device. Such a beautiful and powerful animal. On Earth, tigers were feared predators. But what were they compared to aliens from across the galaxy? And what were humans in this strange new hierarchy? Jack lay down on the bed. The station hummed quietly around him. Outside his window, stars shone in the darkness. He was far from home, representing all of humanity. Tomorrow, he would learn more about his place in this vast, complex universe. Sleep came slowly as questions filled his mind. In a galaxy of predators and prey, where did humans belong? Jack woke up to a soft chiming sound. It took him a moment to remember where he was. The metal walls of his room on the space station reflected the artificial light that had slowly turned on to wake him. He got ready quickly, putting on his blue uniform. Today he would attend the special council meeting about predator classifications. He still wondered why they wanted him there. Officer Zrax was waiting outside his door. "Good morning, Jack Miller of Earth. Did you rest well?" "Yes, thank you," Jack said, though the bed had been harder than he was used to. Zix led Jack through the station. They took a different path than yesterday. These hallways were wider and had more decorations on the walls. Jack saw images of different planets and star systems. Some showed alien creatures in their natural environments. They stopped in front of a large door with symbols carved into it. "This is the council chamber," Zrax explained. "It is arranged in tiers based on the predatory ranking of homeworlds. This helps maintain natural order during discussions." The door slid open. Inside was a huge round room. It had levels like a bowl, with seats going down toward the center. Aliens of all shapes and sizes sat in the different levels. Jack noticed that the top level had seats spaced far apart. The aliens sitting there looked dangerous. One had rows of sharp teeth. Another had claws that could probably cut through metal. These aliens sat still and watched everything below them. The middle levels were more crowded. The aliens there looked less dangerous, but still had some predatory features. Some had smaller claws or teeth. Others looked fast or strong. The lowest levels held aliens that looked more peaceful. They had features that suggested they evolved to hide or run away rather than to hunt. "Where do I sit?" Jack asked. Zrax pointed to a middle section. "You have been assigned to Tier 4 for now." Jack was surprised. He had expected to be placed with the non-predatory species. Humans didn't have claws or fangs like the aliens in the upper tiers. As Jack took his seat, he noticed many aliens watching him with curiosity. A feathered alien with a long neck sat next to him. "I am Dr. Yalaran," the alien said in a soft voice. "I study species classification. I am very interested in humans." "Nice to meet you," Jack said. "I'm not sure why I'm in this section. Humans don't have natural weapons like the species up there." He pointed to the top tiers. Dr. Yalaran made a sound like gentle whistling. "Classification is not just about physical weapons. It is about predatory nature and hunting efficiency. How a species evolved to acquire food." The lights dimmed. In the center of the room, Elder Vox stood on a platform. The snake-like alien scales now glowed with a soft blue light. "We gathered to discuss the predatory index," Elder Vox announced. "Today we focus on Earth species for context as we welcome humanity to the galactic community." A holographic display appeared above the center platform. It showed images of Earth animals. Jack recognized lions, wolves, sharks, and eagles. Earth has developed many effective predators, Elder Vox continued, each with different hunting strategies. Dr. Yalaran leaned toward Jack. We rank species by evolutionary adaptations, hunting efficiency, and threat assessment. This creates harmony by establishing natural boundaries of respect. Jack watched as the aliens analyzed Earth predators. They measured tooth length, running, speed, and hunting success rates. They seemed especially interested in pack hunters like wolves that work together. And where do tigers rank? Jack asked casually. He thought of his daughter and how she loved tigers. The question seemed simple to him. The chamber went quiet. All eyes turned to Jack. Elder Vox stopped speaking and stared at him. Jack realized he had said something important without knowing it. Elder Vox and several other council members looked at each other. The silence stretched uncomfortably long. Finally, Dr. Yaloran spoke. Tigers occupy the middle upper tier of Earth predators. They are formidable, but not apex in the galactic scale. Jack nodded. I see, thank you. But he noticed the strange mood in the room. Something about his question had caused a reaction. But what? The meeting continued. The holograms now showed humans from throughout history. Early humans hunting with spears, farmers growing crops. Modern humans building cities and machines. Humans present a classification challenge, Elder Vox said. They lack significant natural weapons or defenses. Yet they became the dominant species on their planet. An alien from an upper tier spoke. Its voice was deep and rumbling. They appear weak. How did they survive? Jack felt uncomfortable as the aliens discussed humans as if they were specimens in a lab. He raised his hand to speak. Elder Vox nodded. To him, the human representative may offer insight. Jack stood up. Humans used our brains instead of claws or fangs. We made tools and worked together. We changed our environment instead of just adapting to it. The aliens murmured among themselves. Some seemed impressed. Others seemed doubtful. After the meeting ended, Dr. Yalaran walked with Jack back toward his quarters. Your question about tigers was interesting, Dr. Yalaran said. Why did everyone react that way? Jack asked. Dr. Yalaran's feathers ruffled slightly. The council wonders why you asked about tigers specifically. Tigers are solitary hunters with great physical strength. Humans are group hunters with tool use. Very different strategies, Jack smiled. I asked because my daughter loves tigers. We watched a show about them before I left Earth. Dr. Yalaran said, but seemed unconvinced. Over the next few weeks, you will participate in various cultural exchanges. These will help us understand humans better. That night, Jack received a message on his screen. It listed activities for the next day, a hunting simulation, physical tests, and problem solving. Exercises. Jack frowned. These didn't sound like typical diplomatic activities. They sounded like tests. The aliens were studying him, trying to figure out where humans fit in their predator hierarchy. He looked again at the picture of the tiger on his device. In the quiet of his room, Jack began to understand. The aliens weren't just curious about humans. They were trying to determine if humans were dangerous. Jack turned off the screen and lay in the dark. Tomorrow, he would begin to show them what humans could do. The next 3 weeks were busy for Jack. Every day, the aliens had new activities for him. Some were simple, like answering questions about Earth. Others were strange, like watching how he reacted to recordings of different animals hunting. One morning, Jack entered a large empty room. The walls could change to show different places. Today, they showed an Earth forest. This is a hunting simulation, Officer Grax explained. We want to observe how humans track prey. Jack walked through the fake forest. The floor moved under his feet to make it feel like he was really walking far. The air even smelled like trees and dirt. A sound came from his right. Jack turned and saw something move behind a bush. It was a deer, or at least a very good copy of one. What should I do? Jack asked. Whatever you would naturally do if you needed food, Zrax answered from somewhere above. Jack felt strange. He wasn't a hunter. He bought food from stores like most people on Earth, but he knew the aliens were watching him, so he decided to play along. He moved quietly, stepping carefully to avoid making noise. He picked up a stick and used a small knife from his pocket to sharpen the end. It wasn't much of a spear, but it was better than nothing. Jack tracked the deer for almost an hour. He studied its patterns, noticing it returned to the same water spot. He set up near that spot and waited. When the deer came back, Jack threw his makeshift spear. He missed. But the aliens seemed impressed by his strategy. Later that day, Jack had a physical test. The aliens measured how fast he could run, how much weight he could lift, and how well he could climb. Jack did his best, but he knew he wasn't showing anything special. What interested the aliens most was a puzzle test. They gave Jack a box that needed to be opened. It had no obvious way to unlock it. Jack studied it, tried different approaches, and finally figured out that it responded to tapping patterns. He opened it in less than 20 minutes. Most species take much longer, Dr. Yallerin said, watching Jack with those large eyes. Interesting. That afternoon, Jack got a surprise. A new transport ship arrived at the station. Another human stepped out. She was a woman with dark hair pulled back in a neat bun. She wore the same blue uniform as Jack. Jack Miller? I'm Linda Reyes, she said, shaking his hand. They told me you were already here. Jack was happy to see another human face. Welcome to Station 7. It's good to have another human around. Linda would be studying alien technology while Jack continued with diplomacy. They agreed to meet for meals to share what they were learning. That evening, they sat together in the station's eating area. Many aliens watched them from other tables. Have you noticed how they're studying us? Linda asked quietly. I've only been here one day, and I've already been through 3 different tests, Jack nodded. They're trying to figure out where we fit in their predator hierarchy. It's how they organize their society. What have they decided? Linda asked. They haven't. That's what's strange. Jack leaned closer. They keep testing me. Yesterday they showed me footage of a tiger hunting and watched my reaction closely. Linda took a bite of the food the station provided. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either. Tigers? Why tigers? I asked about them in a meeting. I think they're trying to understand why I was interested in tigers specifically. Jack shook his head. It was just a casual question because my daughter likes them. As they talked, a small alien approached their table. This alien had large eyes and pale skin. It walked nervously, looking around as if worried about being seen talking to them. May I join you? The small alien asked. Of course, Jack said, moving over to make room. I am Krell, the alien said. I work in the biological archives. I've been following your tests. Linda looked at Jack with raised eyebrows. Why are they testing us so much? Jack asked. Krell's large eyes blinked several times. Humans confuse them. That's why I wanted to talk to you. Confuse them how? Linda asked. In the galaxy, most species are easy to classify, Krell explained. Predators have clear adaptations for hunting. Prey species have clear adaptations for escaping or hiding, but humans... Krell gestured at them with small hands. You lack claws, fangs, venom, significant speed or strength. Yet historical data shows your species dominated your planet's food chain. They can't reconcile the disparity. Jack thought about this, so where do we rank? Krell's large eyes blinked nervously. That's the problem. They can't decide. Some council members think you should be classified as mid-tier predators based on physical attributes alone. Others argue you should be ranked higher because of your tool use in group hunting strategies. A few even suggest creating a new classification. Does it matter? Linda asked. Why is this so important to them? It matters for everything, Krell said. Trade agreements, territory rights, even where you can go on the station. Everything in galactic society is organized by the predator hierarchy. Jack remembered how the council chamber was arranged in tiers. So they need to put us somewhere. In their system, yes, Krell said. And your question about tigers made them more confused. Why? Jack asked. Because tigers are solitary hunters with obvious physical weapons. Humans are group hunters who use tools. Very different strategies. They wondered why you would ask about a hunting style so different from your own. Krell looked around nervously. I should go. We are not supposed to discuss the tests with subjects. After Krell left, Jack and Linda sat quietly for a moment. So we're lab rats, Linda said finally. Seems that way, Jack agreed, but I think there's more to it. The way some of them watch us. I think they're trying to decide if we're dangerous. Linda smiled. Are we? Jack thought about human history, about wars and weapons and space travel. About how humans had changed their whole planet compared to a tiger. Jack said, I think that's what they're trying to figure out. That night, Jack received a new message. Tomorrow, he would be shown footage of predators from other worlds. The message asked him to rank them based on how dangerous he thought they were. Jack smiled. The aliens weren't just testing him. They were also teaching him about the galaxy. And maybe, just maybe, he was teaching them something about humans too. After 2 months on the station, Jack and Linda had settled into a routine. Every day brought new tests and meetings. Jack learned more about the different alien species and their place in the galactic community. Linda studied alien technology and shared her findings with Jack during their meals together. One morning, Jack woke to a loud alarm. Red lights flashed in his room. The station's computer voice spoke. Alert, containment breach in Sector 12. All personnel stay in quarters. Jack sat up quickly. Sector 12 was near the docking area. He wondered what had happened. His screen lit up with a message from Linda. What's going on? Before he could answer, his door opened. Officer Zrak stood there looking more tense than usual. You must come with me, Zrak said. The council requests your presence. But the alarm, Jack began. It is related, Zrak said. Come quickly. Jack followed Zrak through empty hallways. The alarm continued to sound. They took a different path than usual, using smaller side passages. What happened? Jack asked as they hurried along. A predatory species broke containment during transport, Zrak explained. It is loose on the lower levels. They turned the corner and found Linda waiting with another alien guard. Jack, Linda said, they pulled me from my room too. The council wants both humans, Zrak said. We must hurry. They moved through the station, going down several levels. Jack noticed they were heading away from the council chamber, not toward it. Where are we going? He asked. Observation room, Zrak said. The council is monitoring the situation from there. They entered a large room filled with screens. Each screen showed a different part of the station. Many aliens stood watching the screens with concern. Elder Vox and other council members stood at the front. The humans are here, Zrax announced. Elder Vox turned to them. Good. We have a situation that may provide valuable data. Jack didn't like the sound of that. What kind of data? Elder Vox pointed to a screen. It showed a large creature moving through a storage area. The creature looked like a cross between a rhinoceros and a large lizard. It had thick skin, a heavy horn on its nose, and powerful legs. Its tail swung back and forth, knocking over shelves and containers. This is a crag. Beast from the Outer Rim, Elder Vox explained. A Class 3 predator. It was being transported to another research station when it escaped its containment. Why did you bring us here? Linda asked. Dr. Yalloran stepped forward. We have been studying human response to predatory threats. This is an opportunity to observe in a real situation. Jack felt angry. You want to use a dangerous situation as a test? No one is in danger, Elder Vox said. We have evacuated that section. Security teams are preparing to recapture the creature. Just then, one of the screens showed movement. A small alien ran across a hallway, looking scared. The small alien disappeared through a door. Who is that? Jack asked. Krell, the small alien who had spoken to them before, rushed forward. That's my colleague. She was checking inventory in the storage rooms. She must not have heard the alarm. The screens showed the crag beast moving toward the area where the small alien had gone. Your security teams won't get there in time, Jack said. Looking at the other screens that showed the teams still preparing their equipment, Elder Vox's scales changed color. showing concern. This is unfortunate. Jack looked at Linda. She nodded. Slightly, without another word, they both moved toward the door. Where are you going? Strax asked. To help, Jack said simply. This is not part of the test, Dr. Yalloran said, sounding worried. This isn't a test anymore, Linda replied. Someone needs help. They ran out before anyone could stop them. Strax followed, giving them directions through the station to reach the lower level quickly. The creature is very dangerous, Zrax warned as they ran. Its skin is too thick for most weapons to penetrate. We don't plan to kill it, Jack said. Just distract it until your teams arrive. They reached the lower level. The alarm was louder here. They could hear crashes and roars from down the hallway. The storage rooms are that way, Zrax pointed. Your colleague is in the third room. Jack and Linda moved forward carefully. They reached a large open area filled with containers and shelves. The crag beast was there, using its horn to push over a large shelf. Behind the shelf, they could see the small alien cowering in fear. We need a plan, Linda whispered. Jack looked. Around the storage room, it contained all kinds of supplies. He saw tools, containers with chemicals, and equipment he didn't recognize. Look for something we can use, he told Linda. Something to make noise or create a distraction. They searched quickly. Linda found a cart with cleaning supplies. Jack found a tool that looked like a wrench but was much larger. I have an idea, Linda said. She grabbed several containers of cleaning liquid. These have warning symbols. They might be flammable or irritating to the creature. Jack nodded. I'll get its attention. You go around the other side and try to reach the alien. They split up. Jack moved toward the center of the room. He banged the wrench-like tool against a metal container. The noise echoed through the room. The crag beast turned toward him. It was even bigger up close. Its small eyes focused on Jack. It pawed the ground like a bull about to charge. Jack backed up slowly. That's right, look at me, not at them. The beast charged. Jack dove behind a large container just in time. The beast's horn hit the container, denting the metal. While the beast was focused on Jack, Linda moved along the edge of the room. She reached the small alien and helped her stand. We need to get out of here, Linda said to the frightened alien, but the beast had turned and now blocked their path to the door. It moved toward them, sensing new prey. Jack needed to distract it again. He climbed up on a shelf and waved his arms. Hey! Over here, the beast turned back to Jack. It charged again, hitting the shelf. The whole structure began to fall. Jack jumped to another shelf just in time. Linda saw her chance. She opened one of the cleaning containers and threw the liquid at the beast. The liquid hit its face. The beast roared and shook its head, clearly irritated by the substance. While it was distracted, Linda and the small alien moved toward the door. But the beast recovered quickly and turned toward them again. Jack looked around desperately. He saw a control panel on the wall. It controlled the room's temperature systems. He remembered something from Earth. Many reptiles became slow in cold temperatures. He jumped down and ran to the panel. The beast saw him move and charged again. Jack reached the panel and pressed buttons quickly, turning the cooling system to maximum power. Cold air began pouring from vents in the ceiling. The beast slowed its charge, confused by the sudden temperature change. Jack continued to distract it while Linda and the small alien reached the door. Jack, come on, Linda called. The beast was between Jack and the door, but it was moving more slowly now as the room got colder. Jack circled around, keeping his distance. The beast tried to follow, but its movements were becoming sluggish. Finally, Jack saw his chance. He ran for the door. The beast tried to follow, but couldn't move fast enough in the cold. Jack reached the door. Linda pulled him through. Strax closed and sealed the door behind them. Security teams are almost here, Strax said. They can handle the beast now that it's slowed down. The small alien thanked them with tears in her large eyes. Strax led them back to the observation room. When they entered, the room was silent. All the aliens were watching them with new expressions. Some looked surprised. Others looked thoughtful, elder. Vox stepped forward. You risked yourselves for another species, Jack shrugged. anyone would have done the same. No, Elder Vox said, many would not, especially for a species outside their predatory tier. Dr. Yalaran was studying them with great interest. You use no natural weapons, only your minds and simple tools. Yet you neutralized a Class 3 predator, Linda smiled at Jack. Humans are good at thinking on our feet. Elder Vox's scales changed to a deep blue color. You asked about tigers, the elder said to Jack. Now I understand why. Jack looked confused. You were comparing different types of predators, Elder Vox continued. Tigers hunt with physical strength. Humans hunt with intelligence and tools. Jack didn't correct the misunderstanding. Let them think he had asked a deeper question than he really had. The council called an emergency meeting for the next day. Something had changed. The humans had shown them something important, and Jack had a feeling their place in the predator hierarchy was about to be reconsidered. 3 months after the incident with the crag beast, the station was buzzing with activity. 5 more humans had arrived to join Jack and Linda. The new arrivals included scientists, engineers, and diplomats. Earth was taking its place in the galactic community. Jack walked through the hallways with a sense of belonging he hadn't felt during his first days here. Aliens no longer moved away when he passed. Some even nodded in greeting. Things had changed. Today was important. The Galactic Council had called a special meeting to officially classify humans in the Predator hierarchy. All 7 humans would attend. Jack met Linda outside the council chamber. She smiled when she saw him. Ready for our big day? She asked. As ready as I'll ever be, Jack replied. Though I still think it's strange that they need to put us in a category. Linda shrugged. It's how their society works. Every species has its place. They entered the chamber together. The room was full. Representatives from all known species had come to witness the classification of humanity. Jack saw some familiar faces. Dr. Yalaran with his feathers neatly groomed, Krell who now greeted them openly, and Officers Drax standing tall and official. The 5 new humans looked around with wide eyes, just as Jack had on his first visit. They hadn't yet gotten used to seeing so many different alien species in one place. Jack and Linda led their group to a special section that had been prepared for them. It wasn't in any of the regular tiers. Instead, it was a new area to the side of the main chamber. Elder Vox entered last. The snake-like alien scales today were a formal gold color that shimmered in the light. Silence fell over the chamber. Today we gather for a formal classification, Elder Vox announced. After careful study, observation, and direct interaction, the Council will place humanity in the Galactic Predatory Index. The large screens on the walls lit up. They showed images of humans throughout history. The earliest humans making simple tools, groups hunting together with spears, farmers growing crops, people building the first cities, modern humans with their technology, astronauts in space. Humanity presents a unique case in our classification system, Elder Vox continued. Their physical attributes suggested a mid-tier placement at best. They lacked the natural weapons, speed, and strength of top predators. Jack saw some of the dangerous-looking aliens in the top tier nod in agreement. They looked down at the humans, with their large teeth and claws, clearly seeing no physical threat. However, Elder Vox said, observation has revealed a different kind of predatory advantage, one we had not fully appreciated until now. The screens changed to show the security footage from the crag beast incident. Jack and Linda watched themselves, using simple tools and quick thinking to neutralize a creature much stronger than themselves. Humans represent what we now term cognitive apex predators, Dr. Yalaran announced, stepping forward. They evolved mental advantages rather than physical ones. Their predatory nature expresses itself through problem-solving, tool creation, and cooperation. The chamber buzzed with conversation. This was clearly a new concept for many species. Traditional predators evolve physical adaptations to their environment, Elder Vox explained. Humans evolved the ability to change their environment instead. They don't need to outrun their prey, they created machines that could. They don't need claws or fangs, they forged them from metal. The screens now showed humans building cities, launching rockets, creating computers, and developing medicine. In the incident with the crag beast, Elder Vox continued, 2 humans with no weapons defeated a Class 3 predator using only their minds and simple tools. They understood its weaknesses and exploited them. This demonstrates a hunting efficiency that ranks among the highest we have observed. Jack felt strange hearing humans described this way. He had never thought of himself as a predator. He bought food at stores and lived in a comfortable apartment. But looking at human history from the aliens' perspective, he could see why they viewed humans as they did. Therefore, Elder Vox announced formally, the Council has created a new classification in the Predatory Index. Humans will occupy the category of cognitive apex predators, with all the rights and responsibilities this entails. The aliens in the chamber responded in different ways. Some seemed impressed. Others looked concerned. The predators in the top tier studied the humans with new interest. After the formal announcement, there was a celebration with food and drink from many worlds. Jack found himself speaking with Elder Vox in a quiet corner. Your question about tigers led us down an important path, Elder Vox said. It made us reconsider how we define predatory nature. Jack smiled. It was just a casual question. My daughter loves tigers, yet it revealed much, Elder Vox replied. Tigers are magnificent physical hunters. Humans are something else entirely. You showed us that predatory nature can take different forms. Across the room, Linda was talking with Dr. Yalloran. She caught Jack's eye and smiled. She excused herself and walked over to join them. So where do tigers rank now? She asked with a smile. Having heard the end of their conversation, Jack looked at the new classification displayed on the screens. Humans had their own category now, separate from the traditional tiers. Tigers are magnificent creatures, Jack replied. But they never left Earth. We did. Elder Vox's scales rippled with colors that Jack had learned meant thoughtfulness. That is the difference, the alien said. Tigers adapted to their environment. Humans refused to be limited by theirs. As the celebration continued, Jack thought about how far humanity had come, from simple tools to spaceships, from small tribes to a global civilization. And now, to the stars, the other humans joined them, eager to learn more about their place in this new community. Jack realized that humanity's journey was just beginning. They would face many challenges in this vast galaxy, but they would face them with their greatest strength, not claws or fangs or physical power, but the human mind and the human spirit. He thought of his daughter back on Earth, with her love of tigers and her endless questions about the universe. He couldn't wait to tell her about all he had learned, about the aliens and their strange hierarchy, about how humanity had found its place among the stars, and about how a simple question about tigers had helped the galaxy understand what made humans special. The journey home would begin soon. But first, there was much to learn, much to share, and a whole galaxy waiting to meet the cognitive apex predators from Earth.